Okay, I'm going to share a better recipe that I figured out for Nestle's Toll House cookies. So basically, I am going to follow this recipe. I'm just going to change one or two of the ingredients a little bit. I'm using the milk chocolate morsels, so you can see they're not your usual semi-sweet morsels. I like milk chocolate, but I found that when you use these in the regular recipe, it's too sweet. So what I'm going to do is take all the ingredients that are normally here on the back of the package. So I've got flour, sugar, brown sugar, regular salt, not sea salt. Make sure you don't use sea salt, it's too salty. Vanilla extract, and butter, and eggs. So the first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to change the salt. I'm going to double the salt in the recipe. Keep everything else the same, but double the salt. And I'm going to add a half a bag of M&Ms. Something about the M&Ms, the way they're made, they add a little bit of sweet and salty taste at the same time. This I found gives me the right balance of sweet and salt. Now you see my butter is softened. It's not melted. Do not melt your butter. Okay, now I'm going to go in and break up the sugar where you have big lumps. Just break those up. They usually break up real easy if your sugar's fresh, and my sugar was purchased last week, so it's fresh. Just to make sure I have most of the balls broken up. Now, I don't always measure these things. I think it's better just to eye them and make sure you have a good amount. That's supposed to be a teaspoon. I don't know how close that is or not. Now you should beat your eggs in one at a time. Don't put them both in. Do one, then do the other. Okay, well there's a good mistake I can show you. I got some eggshell in there. So I have to get that out. The easiest way to get it out is to use your finger. If you use a spoon or something, it like runs away from it. And I'm just gonna pinch it out of there. Alright, now normally in the recipe when you're putting in the flour mixture, they tell you to mix the salt and the baking soda together. I find that you get a better even distribution if you do each ingredient one at a time. So I'm going to thoroughly mix the flour in, and then I'm going to mix the salt through, and then I'm going to mix the baking soda. So I'm going to go right onto the flour. Okay, and this is supposed to be a teaspoon, so I just take a small teaspoon size spoon and put that in. And then the salt. And just kind of eye. Well, I know I want 2 teaspoons. I want to double it. So that's about a teaspoon. And I'm going to, oops, that's a little too much. That's better. Okay. Now I really want to work that salt all over. So I'm going to go ahead and do this a little longer than you might normally. And I'm going to pause in between here, and I'm just going to scrape down the edges to make sure that I've got this spread evenly. So I love these rubber spatulas. It really doesn't matter what brand because they all work the same. Just scrape the edge of the bowl really well. And just bring it into the middle. And then I use my beaters to just kind of wipe them off. get it back in there. And I don't want to lose any of the batter, so I go ahead and get as much back in there as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more. This little. Okay, and now I'm going to put the chips in. Now, some people like to beat the chips by hand so that they don't crack any of them up. I don't think that's necessary. So we're just going to use the beater because it's faster. Okay, I'm going to put all of them in there. Okay, now I'm going to put a half a bag of regular M&Ms in and mix those throughout. Now, I'm not going to do this on too high of a speed. Actually, I think I will move to a spoon. Okay, and now we're ready to put them on the baking pan. Now here's the thing with the baking pan. It's better to make bigger cookies than smaller ones because they just come out chewier, better. It's that nice taste you like. So, I have my oven heated up. Oops, got it here. Okay, so we're going to use an ungreased cookie sheet, and this is not totally dry. Okay, and I'm going to use a pretty good size, about that big, maybe a little more than you're used to doing. Okay, so they take up more room on the pan. I don't shape them into circles. You can if you want them to look a little more perfect. So I'll show you the difference. We'll shape one and we'll leave the rest like this, and we'll see if they really make a difference shaping them. So I'll take one and just shape it and see if it comes out any better than the others. Do a little experiment. Okay? Alright, so we're ready to try these. Another trick you can use, if you don't have a cooling rack, I just use my broiler pan. I turn it upside down, and I use that to put my cookies on. So here are the ones that we didn't shape, and here's the one we did shape. And it is definitely rounder, but it doesn't have that chunky bumpy look that I like of homemade cookies. So I'm going to choose not to make mine round. I'm going to leave them weird like this because I think that chunky look looks good. Just want to bite into them. They look chewy. Okay, so these are still hot, but they're cool. And just gonna see if they turned out as good as I think. See how nice they are on the bottom? They're not brown, they're golden. Nice and bumpy. Just looks really good, doesn't it? Okay, let's see. Let's do the break test. Yes, it's very soft inside. So, and I'm gonna taste it. Absolutely perfect. Perfect flavor, perfect texture, extremely soft, chewy, yet completely cooked. Wow. These are spectacular. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing that I like to do with chocolate chip cookies that's really good. I made a few smaller ones because if you do it with the big ones, it's a little too sweet. It's a little too overwhelming. So I made some smaller cookies, one tray of smaller ones. And what I try and do is find some that are about the same size. See how those are very close in size. And you take your favorite icing. I like to use a vanilla icing with this, not a chocolate. It doesn't taste good with chocolate. So I have some colored icing here. This is just regular funfetti vanilla, okay? And it's colored. and you put a layer of icing on the bottom side of the cookie. Okay, and I make it fairly thick. Think ice cream sandwich. Okay, and then put this one on top, the best you can match it. Right, and I already have laying on the granite here a layer of saran wrap. So you wanna, don't push it down. You wanna keep it kind of thick, the icing. And I'm just gonna wrap the cookie now in the saran wrap. I'm not gonna push hard because I don't want it to get thin. I want it to stay thick. And then you refrigerate it. When the icing becomes refrigerated, this is so, so incredibly delicious. Everyone loves these. And if you have someone that's a real sweet tooth like I am, this is just a wonderful addiction. So, but it has to be refrigerated for it to really work right. It doesn't taste good if you do it while it's like this. So without pushing down, I'm just gonna stick that in the fridge and let that icing get set. Okay, so we are here at Bella Sophia's in Boca Raton, and we're gonna do a taste test on the cookies we designed. Okay.
That's the best thing that ever happens to someone get cookies to try out.
So how's the texture?
Perfect. Absolutely delicious. I don't know who invented this, sugar with sugar, but it is heavenly.
So is it too sweet?
I am a sweet tooth.
You are? Okay.
No, it's not. No, it has this crunchiness to it. It's not unbearably sweet.
Okay.
And you can eat the whole thing with no problem, or 2 or 3.
Okay. And do you like the icing is refrigerated? So I think that gives it a better texture. Do you like that?
It does, and also makes the chocolate a little bit more, you know, the texture on the chocolate.
Do you like the M&Ms in it, or you prefer them not in it?
I got M&M. Yeah.
That's what you're crunching, is the M&M.
Now the crunchiness was in the dough
Okay.
and the icing because it was refrigerated.
Yeah. Okay.
With the M&M, it's even crunchier now.
Okay. But is it still soft at all? They were baked last night.
What it is that it's perfect because it's not mushy, it's not soggy.
Okay.
It is soft, but you can still feel the crunchiness to it.
Okay. All right. Good.
It's delicious.
Oh, good.
Well, take
So
my
maybe
word
that's
for
a
it.
hit.
It is a hit. In my opinion, it is a hit.
Thank you. Okay, Betty, so you're going to try our new invention with chocolate chip cookies and icing. It's vanilla icing, and there's M&Ms in there and chocolate chips.
Okay. Cherries too?
No
Oh,
cherries.
no, M&Ms.
No.
M&Ms.
No, and it's all vanilla icing, even though it's pink.
Okay. I take a little bite.
Just give us an honest opinion of the texture and what you think of it.
But a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, and the feeling it's icing. And the top is M&M like
heart-healthy California walnuts.
I mean, I'm a sweet tooth. I like
How's the texture?
The texture
crunchy and
is a little dense.
Little dense? Okay, the icing or the cookie itself?
The cookie itself.
Okay.
And it could have been a little lighter on the pink icing.
Too much icing in it.
Too much icing.
Okay, so is it a little too sweet?
A little too many chocolate. A little too many M&Ms.
Too many M&Ms. Okay, all right, maybe that's the problem. Okay, overall, would you eat the whole thing?
No.
No. Okay, you don't like
You could
it.
make them smaller.
Okay, all right. Would you save it and eat more later, or you really just don't like it?
I wouldn't save it.
No, you would throw it away?
It's okay.
Okay, so we have one and
But I would
one.
like it smaller.
Okay,
Just a daintier, a smaller piece.
like a bite.
A
It's
bite size.
A bite size,
This
yeah.
would be nice as a bite size.
Okay, well maybe you could save it for later and take another bite later.
All right.
It is fresh. I made it last night.
Oh, good. It's good, but it's a little I would like it smaller.
Okay, and no
Less
M&Ms.
M&Ms. Less
Okay.
M&Ms.
I added extra salt to try and balance the sweet to the recipe, but maybe not enough. Or maybe the M&Ms are too much.
The M&Ms are too much.
Okay. All right. Thank you.